Wow, it's been a hot minute since I've turned this on. Seems to be the only thing I can turn on now. Hey Starlings, how's it going? So, we are going to talk about, as you can clearly tell, the devil's lettuce. Something I partook in and I should not have. So I'm just going to get context out of the way and start off by saying I am allergic to whole wheat. I am allergic to the lettuce. I did not know that at the time. In my defense, I had no idea. I thought just bad trips, but I will be going through the trips that I had and all the signs that I chose to miss. Let's get started. Also, you can't tell, but one second. Why not just give you a shot straight down my shirt? I'm wearing green to match the vibe of, you know, the content at hand. But I also had an audition today and I just didn't feel like changing for this video. So let's just do it. So my first tango with such a substance, I would say would have been in 2019. I think if I have some clips. None of the clips really showed the dark side of the things I was experiencing, but I do have some funny clips that I will just be randomly inserting, and maybe I will shut up and let them play with audio, who knows. But my first bout was with a little chocolate treat that a friend gave me, and we were getting ready to watch a horror movie because I thought it would be a brilliant idea to watch it was like a parody horror movie of a parody horror movie back in the day. It was Cabin Fever. It used to be on Netflix. It's not on Netflix anymore. And it was the 2016 remake of the 2002, 2003 film. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is I took a piece of the forbidden chocolate and I ate it. And we were just gonna let the movie go through and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, this is like my first time ever with this stuff. Let's see how it is, because I don't smoke. So I knew that any devil's lettuce that was in a joint was not gonna work for me. So I'm like, you know what, I might as well just try the chewies and the edibles and the cookies and the treats, because I like treats, I like sweets. So we're watching the movie and my friend is just giggling up a storm because it has hit her. So I'm sitting there and I already can tell that something is not right. I am sitting there and I feel this wave of fire. Not like a nice warm toasty feeling of oh yeah, it's hit, man. No, I'm talking I just swan dived into Lucifer's bathtub. It was not fun. And I am sitting there going, oh no, this shouldn't be happening. Every breath I was taking, it wasn't so much that when I breathed and inhaled, there were pins and needles, as if something was pushing against my ribs saying, no, 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 you probably shouldn't do that. And then when I would exhale, I was getting lightheaded, I was getting dizzy, and then I was hallucinating hearing a grandfather clock. Don't want to ask me why. I didn't grow up with any grandfather clocks in my old home growing up, and I certainly don't have one here. So my friend just thinks that I am just tripping out of my mind, and I'm sitting there giggling because in my head I'm thinking, unaliving myself. I don't know exactly how strict YouTube is with talking about such topics, because TikTok does not let you even say anything outside of unaliving, but those were thoughts running through my head, and I was thinking vivid details of I can't do this anymore. I don't want to wait until this all wears off. I just want to stairway to heaven. I'll take the elevator. That was my first round with that stuff, and when I told my friend the next morning, they said, just sounds like you had a bad trip. And it was also your first time, so it won't happen ever again. I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, my body's not used to such a substance in my body. I never had it before, so I'm thinking, you know what, you're right. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it another shot the next time it comes around, and that was a few months later. So there were 2 bouts within the same few weeks. One was a bonfire, and I had was it a cookie? It was something like that. And again, it was another bad trip. I was getting those feverish feelings. I couldn't breathe right, and I was panicking, and I think I was worried about something because I hit my leg on something and I can't feel pains in my legs because I'm paralyzed. And so I was crying to my friend saying, if something's broken, I'm too messed up to know if I hit it very lightly against whatever the object was, or if I hit it really hard and my brain can't comprehend that I may have broken a bone, because I can't tell. And I was really nervous, and I'm like, I need to call Ruth, my aide. I need to call her. I just need to make sure I'm okay. And they're all saying, Lita, you're fine. I was with a bunch of people at this point. They were saying, you're okay. We saw you, everything's fine. But I was still really worried. I'm a worrier, I panic, and I'm like, I just wanna make sure that my body's okay, and you guys can't tell because you're all also, so how would you guys know? And so I did call her, she came over, she checked, and I did have some bruising. It wasn't too bad. Gave me some water. I ended up throwing up the water after that. So ginger ale it was, if I remembered how to drink. Now that next round was with another friend, and we were just chilling out watching TV shows, and I was starting to get now the cold sweats mixed with those feverish feelings, and also being unable to breathe and kind of forgetting how to talk. I was giggling during a lot of it, but really I was either cold one minute to where I was getting like the cold sweats and shivers, then the next I was boiling alive, and I'm just like, my brain's gonna explode on the inside. It's just gonna turn into mush, and then it's gonna just dribble out of my ears. That is what I was thinking almost the entire night. And I also tried to stand up out of my wheelchair thinking, you know what? If this is the way I gotta go, and that's what I was trying to do. For those who do not know, I am very much an introvert. I know on social media it doesn't seem like I am, but I very much am an introvert. It's not that I'm scared to talk to people, it's just that I like my alone time. I like my one-on-ones with people. I rarely ever like to do things with big groups. I don't prefer it. I get uncomfortable if I'm with more than maybe 3 people at a time. I just like to be with people that I am comfortable with, I feel safe with, and I like that one-on-one communication where we have devoted time for each other. So they give me a treat, right? And then we were all sitting around talking, some are drinking, some are not, some are getting crossfaded, some are not. And so they're all chatting, and then I'm sitting there, right? I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I get those cold sweats, and then I get that fever, and then all of a sudden I feel the pins and needles in my chest. I feel some pressure on my lungs. I feel like, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting how to breathe again. And I text one of my friends who wasn't there, who couldn't come get me, and all I wrote was, I forgot how to push my wheelchair to get out of here. I forgot. Luckily, one of my newfound friends noticed that I was not doing well and helped me leave the situation. They were very kind. Thank you so much. You know who you are. I had forgotten how to talk. My tongue, actually, I found out was like actually swollen because when I got to my bedroom and I checked, my tongue was swollen. So I couldn't talk. It's not that I forgot how to speak. It's that everything was so heavy and things were pulsating and I couldn't talk. But I still thought maybe it's just a mix with medications that I'm taking. Maybe you shouldn't mix the devil's lettuce with certain synthetic medications. That was my reasoning, and that was the reasoning for a lot of my friends. They said, maybe it's just the medications that you take don't mix well with THC. Now let's get to the moment that I realized it was my final round with such a substance that I knew something was wrong, and I finally went and I got checked out and confirmed my suspicions. This happened when a company had sent me some products, VANCE Global. I still do love and appreciate their products and the stuff that they are promoting, because I have friends that I now have them help review it for me because I obviously can't ingest and take such substances anymore. And they tell me it's great. So I believe and I trust their word. It's just that I can't really do anything about it. But they understood, they're a great company. I had exchanged emails back and forth after what took place, and they were like, we are so sorry, and they helped me a lot when getting past all that, and they're still really great, and I still keep contact with them, and I still have a code with them. So thank you guys for understanding. It was something both of us couldn't control on either end. Now what happened, you might ask? Well, I did a little snippet over on TikTok kind of explaining a quick summary of the story, but what happened was they had come out with their Delta 8 gummies, and they sent me a pack, and I said, okay, because I had been telling them that I had to be giving away the pre-rolls that they had been giving me because I don't know how to inhale such, I didn't know how to inhale the herb. And they said, that's totally fine. So they let me gift those away, and I would film my friends' reviews of it and what they thought of it, which was very helpful. But they said, hey, we're coming out with these gummies. You can eat them. right? And I said yes, not realizing what was about to happen. So they sent them my way. I ate one thinking it's all gonna be hunky-dory for the rest of the night. And I was gonna get my review in the morning. Oh boy, I was so wrong. I would say it was my worst experience ever. Of course, I actually, before all the stereotypical, like the hot flashes and the cold sweats came, what first happened were the giggles. I was like, oh, maybe I'm okay. I'm like, maybe all's good. So I'm sitting there like giggling up a storm in my living room, and then all of a sudden I got that hot flash, and my brain that was still functioning, part of it was going, oh, this isn't good. So I quickly sit up and I'm thinking, okay, and then I turn and everything slowed down. Like my world was going in slow motion. Everything was warped. Every sound that I made, if I was talking out loud, it was slowed down like in a movie. It was like running like a horror movie essentially, but I was in first person view and I did not like it. For some reason, my brain was just not being able to connect with absolutely anything that was going on around me. I was getting those hot flashes. I actually couldn't breathe at all. I couldn't talk. My throat was a desert at that point. My tongue was starting to swell and I'm thinking, oh no, oh no, oh no, this is not good, this is not good. And I started hallucinating blood on the floor. I was seeing trails of blood, and for context, earlier that day I had accidentally nicked myself with, I think it was like my eyebrow razor or something. It was something very minute, but it did cut slightly deep. So my brain automatically was like, oh no, it was worse than you thought. And so I took off the Band-Aid and I'm seeing a gash that turns out wasn't even there. So I know I am really tripping and I'm seeing things that are not there. I'm hearing the grandfather clock. I'm hearing voices of people that have been deceased in my life for many years. I'm hearing all sorts of weird things. And so I don't ask me how a paraplegic can stagger when they're sitting 24/7, but I did. I kept running into the walls and I called my mom and I couldn't speak. And she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Hello, Lita, you there? And all I could get out, she said, was, another scary instance was when I woke up, when they got to my home, because my parents don't live far from me. So to me, it felt like 3 hours it took for them to get there, but really it was only a few minutes. So when I woke up, I couldn't make out any shape, right? I couldn't make out the door, I couldn't make out my bed, I couldn't make out my nightstand, I couldn't make out my dog, I couldn't even make out their bodies. I just saw like blurbs running in, and they were saying something, but again, it was that super slow motion. And then my brain rewinds it, and I'm seeing like the waves on a TV screen, and it starts doing it again. But it's a little clearer. Now it just looks like a foggy lens. I can kind of make out that it's my mom running in first, and then it's my stepdad, and then I can sort of make out what they're saying, but I couldn't exactly. It sounded like I was underwater. And then it restarts again, and it did this 5 times before my brain could catch up, and I was reliving the same 5 seconds 5 different times. My brain just kept replaying it before my own eyes, and they got me a bunch of cold rags. They were like trying to get like my temperature to go down. I had a fever at that point. They said the next morning they had told me like, hey, you had a fever. Things were not looking good. My mom slept with me in my bed to make sure that I would stay on my side so I wasn't choking on like my own saliva. And she said the only reason I didn't call 911 was because I forgot your address. I guzzled a bunch of water the next morning. I told my stepdad to toss out those gummies. I never want to see them again. More than allergic to THC, and it was not the medications, and it was not just me having a bad trip every single time. And it took me almost, I think, being in serious medical danger to finally realize that. Now, I do not blame Vance Global at all. It was purely my own fault for not doing enough research into my own body to see if it's okay. But in my defense, I had no idea people could be allergic to THC. I had no idea. But I let them know, I emailed them and said, I just want to let you guys know that I don't think I can support at least the Delta gummies, and I cannot give my review on them because of what happened. And I told them like in detail everything that was going on. They completely understood. They were super nice about it. They said, if you don't want to be part of our campaigns anymore, we understand. And I said, no. It's not your fault. It really isn't. So we came to like an agreement that I don't think pre-rolls will even be sent to me anymore, which I totally understand because I can't use them. They might be sending me CBD stuff from now on just to be safe, but THC is like kind of out of the question at that point. But that is my story with the devil's lettuce. I am still an advocate for people using it for medicinal purposes because it can help a lot of people and it has been proven to help a lot of people. It just doesn't help me, but I am still like all for people using it to the benefits of their body and their mind and their being and for their health because it has a lot of great health benefits. But yeah, people have been asking me all the time like, hey, why don't you ever like flunk with us? Or whenever people have them at parties, I now just say no thank you, no thank you. Now I have this nice little quick video summary of why I don't. Instead of just saying I'm allergic, people don't believe me, but it's very much a thing. I don't know what to tell you. It's in my doctor's charts now. It's in my hospital records, but this is now I think a really good way to just like kind of steer people to be like, this is why. But thank you for watching this video. I am sorry that I just kind of been away from YouTube for a bit. I was going through my own personal like episode to where I was like, no motivation, but I have a bunch of things I want to do, but no motivation to do it. It's a bad cycle, and I do apologize. But if you did like this video, please let me know by leaving a like or a comment on what your thoughts were. I have a bunch of social media links down in the description box below for you. And at the time of filming this video, I now got news that the movie I am in with Lionsgate and BuzzFeed, One Up, is going to be premiering on Amazon Prime's servers in the United States July 15th and premiering in Australia and New Zealand July 8th. And if you've seen this video after those dates, I hope you enjoyed the movie. But with all that being said, please let me know of any more video ideas you guys may have, and I will do my best to make that work. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all later.